Hello everyone, my name is Noor, and today I'm going to be your instructor as we dive into a historical case study. The crash of Air Canada Flight 624. This event is a powerful example of how environmental factors, human factors like fatigue, and cabin crew training all intersect during an unplanned emergency. As you can see, the points mentioned below, the crash date was March 29, 2015, and the location was Halifax, Nova Scotia. The aircraft type was Airbus A320. So now we start with the accident overview. The points are approach during a heavy snowstorm, aircraft struck approach lights and a power line, impacted the ground 225 meters short of the runway. Severe damage, landing gear torn off, one engine detached. Now, explaining the points, the flight was arriving from Toronto due to heavy snow and low visibility. The aircraft flew too low on its final approach. It actually struck an antenna array and power lines before slamming into the ground short of the runway. The impact was so violent that the landing gear was completely torn away, and the aircraft eventually skidded onto the runway itself. An unplanned emergency. No warning from the flight deck, sudden transition from landing to impact, lack of brace command. This is a classic example of an unplanned emergency, unlike a situation where a pilot has time to brief the crew. Here, there was no warning. Because the crew and the passenger expected a normal landing, no brace command was given. Passengers were thrown forward by the impact because they went into the protected brace position, which explains many of the injuries sustained. The human factors, the influence of fatigue, early morning hours, approximately at 0043 local time, uh, circadian rhythm lows, impact on decision makings. Explaining these points, we have to talk about fatigue. The accident happened well after midnight. Investigation reports highlighted that the crew operating during a period where the body naturally wants to sleep, uh, a circadian flow. Fatigue can slow down reaction times and impair the ability to process complex data during a difficult approach in a snowstorm, contributing the aircraft dropping below the required altitude. Moving on to the next slide. Equipment damage, interior and exterior. As you can see on the pictures, exterior missing engine and landing gear, interior overhead bins open, floor structure deformed, cabin door challenges with opening due to damage. The damage was extensive externally. The aircraft was a wreck. It lost its landing gear and an engine. Inside the force of the crash caused floor section to buckle and overhead bins to dump baggage onto passengers. One of the biggest challenges for the crew was the cabin doors. The structural deformation made them very difficult to operate. Yet the crew managed to get them open to start the evacuation. Crew impact and passenger response. Crew injuries. Both flight attendants were injured. Passenger behavior. Evacuating into extreme cold without coats. The silent review importance. Uh, Despite being injured themselves, the flight attendant performed their duties heroically. They had to manage a cabin full of passengers who were in shock because it was so cold and snowy. Many passengers left the plane without their winter coats. This led to secondary issues like shivering and potential hypothermia. While waiting for rescue, it shows that in an evacuation, passengers will often leave everything behind, which is good for speed but dangerous in extreme Canadian winters. We go to last but not the least, conclusion and key takeaways from this case study. Classified as an accident due to aircraft damage and injuries. Lesson: expect the unexpected. The vital role of the silent review. Explaining that, to wrap up, this event is officially classified as an accident because of the hull loss and the injuries sustained. The takeaways for us is that even when a landing seems routine, the silent review, where you mentally rehearse your exits and commands, is the only thing that prepares you for an unplanned emergency like Flight 624. Thank you for listening.